Yes.
Hi everyone, this is Didi.
And I am Fred. And this is our 36-foot floating home sunshine.
Join us as we go sailing.
Well, it's day 3. See that white haze all along the horizon out there? Well, this morning we got a visit from a white squall. Snuck in because there was no black line of clouds out there. It was just this white haze. And within a couple minutes, it went from 10 to 12 knots to 25 to 30. Needless to say, the boat was a little overpowered, and was quite a handful getting the Yankee, which was poled out and flying free, getting it down and getting the pole under control. And so I put the staysail up on the stay to port, so we could get the Genoa down without it flogging itself crazy. And we continue to zip along. Eventually changed out the Genoa and put the Yankee up and the staysail, and sailed like a cutter rig with no mainsail. But once again, sailing a little too far downwind. So the staysail was blanketing the headsail, the Yankee in this case. So now we just did another big exercise. Put the Genoa back up, and it sheeted off the end of the main boom and got the staysail out on the pole. One of the things that I've noticed in this area that's a little strange, I don't remember that these conditions from the last time I was here, is that there is a south setting current here. It's not a whole lot, but it set me south of my course line over the span of a couple days, almost 10 miles. And since I'm sailing almost dead downwind with the setup, very hard to get the boat to point to starboard any higher. So I did that for a couple hours today with the cutter set up. Although the boat, without a mainsail, the boat won't point very high. But I did gain back some of that. I think I got within about 3 miles of the course line. So we still got this white haze all around the horizon. Almost certainly signifies some kind of change in the weather. Although now it's only blowing once again about 10 or 12. And still running into tidal overfalls. I think it's the sun and the moon tides run east and west. And when they're running from the west to the east, with the surface current being blown by the wind from the east, it's real short, steep, choppy, nasty seas. Many, many miles from land in any direction. It's kind of strange. So, of course, we get the adverse current half the time and assisting current half the time, which is killing our daily average speed, which so far after 2 days is only about 75 miles. Anyway, other than a little excitement this morning, things are going along pretty well. I think I've seen one boat way off in the distance to the north. I think it was a fishing boat in the last 24 hours. So that's good. There are a few ships showing up on the AIS, but they're 10 plus miles away, so don't physically ever see them. Anyway, That's it for now. Bye.
Guys, good afternoon. It's about 4 p.m. and Monday. What's the date today? March 13? 13? I think 13. So here's our sales. Just finished it up because every now and then we change the cells that are able to use with the weather conditions. So if you are living here, or I mean you are a crew on the boat like this, so it's not so easy, very hard, especially when you sit up on the sails, off the sails, sit up the sails, running around. Then if no balance, I have many bruises because I banging myself when the waves hit the boat. Then I'm in control about that because I'm sit up the lights, the sheets. Then the mainsails, we're not using the mainsails right now, only the head sails and the stay sails with using poles so that it will balance. Yeah, I had some bruises because myself banging here, but it's okay. That is a life of a sailor as a crew. So yes, we're here. Afternoon, sailing alone. Then I have the lure. I have no fish at all. 2 days no fish. I am wishing that I catch one big fish so that I can have a breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whatever. So yes. So that's for the update for today, this afternoon. This is our third day passage. Bye for now.
Okay, folks, here we are. It's Tuesday, the 14th, just after noon. After that white squall hit us yesterday morning, it took a while for the wind, the weather to stabilize again. Later in the afternoon, the real northeast monsoons kicked in. Of course, they're blowing pretty much from due east and not northeast. But that's okay because right now, you can kind of see behind me the sea state. I'm looking up forward. It's blowing a pretty steady 20 knots. And the seas are getting up to accompany that, which is about 6 feet. Got the staysail pulled out, and the Genoa flying. Oh, it's not flying, it's hanked on, but it's sheeted off the end of the main boom. I decided not to put the Yankee up flying again because it's quite a handful to get that sail down when it's not hanked on and it's pulled out. So the staysail is pretty near the same sail area, and since it's hanked on to the staysail stay and pulled out, it's much easier to handle that sail if conditions warrant. And it makes for a pretty good setup on the boat, balances pretty well. I could almost get the boat to self-steer. The rudder is centered and almost really wouldn't need the auxiliary rudder. I could center that or bias it one way or the other just a little bit because the wind pressure on the sails pretty much keeps the boat on course. And to give you an idea of what I'm talking about here, I'm backwinding the Genoa a little bit from time to time, because in my effort to counter the south-setting current, which was prevalent the first couple days, I sailed up north of the course line. Well, now there's no more current pushing me south, so I have to sail a little bit south of due west to get back to the course line. Right now we're about 25 miles or so from the channel that I want to go through at the Nicobar Islands. That's part of India. Should hit that about 5 o'clock this afternoon, which is good because anytime we're going through a channel, always better to do it in daylight. Although this channel is quite wide, probably nearly 10 miles wide, so it's not restricted in that sense, and it's plenty deep enough. Over 300 feet in the center. I do expect, though, that we're going to get a little funneling action from the two islands with the wind blowing right between that channel. And I know, in the videos you never can get an appreciation of the waves, but they're getting up around 6 feet. And the tops are starting to crest. So I would say the wind is in the, true wind is in the low 20s, because we're almost starting to get greenies on top of the waves, and that means 25 knots wind. See my very fancy apparent wind indicator, and the wind speed is out there. It surrounds the boat. It's all the water. All I have to do is look at the condition of the water, tell within a couple of knots what the boat or the wind speed is by the condition of the surface of the water. So, all things considered, absolutely gorgeous the last couple days. The last day, beautiful sailing. Finally broke 100 miles. Did 115 miles from noon yesterday, which is good, because the first couple hours after noon, the conditions were quite light. The wind didn't pick up like it is blowing right now until this morning. But it did blow pretty good through the night. I mean, we were probably running up to 4.5 to 5 knots through the night. So I'm expecting to start knocking off 120, 130 mile days now. If the wind gets up a little more, we might see some 140, 150 mile days, which would be great. That's it for now. Bye.